yummy. I'm going to make a artichoke crab dip, and it's a favorite of all my friends. Really easy to make, and let's get started. First, I am going to soften up this cream cheese. It makes it easier to stir. Probably in the microwave for probably around a minute. You don't want it to get too hot because then it will start bubbling, and you don't want it to get too overcooked. So just about a minute. Once you hear it start to make the little crackly sound, you know you need to take it out. And we're going to be adding mayonnaise, artichoke, and the shredded crab. This is imitation crab. You can use real crab if you want. This is just quick and easy and a little bit cheaper. If you want to, get some crab and pick it apart, be my guest. It's pretty inexpensive. It's about probably $4 or $5. So I like to use that. Looks like this is about ready. I like to serve it with probably wheat thins or any kind of taco chip, like Tostitos is always good also. This is nice and soft. So now we're going to open this. I'm going to drain the water out. You don't want to add no water because it'll just make it too runny. Careful not to cut yourself. I just dump that in there. What I do to chop it up a little bit is I get a pair of kitchen scissors and I just chop it like this into little pieces. I don't like the big chunks just because it just seems to go more through the dip if you just cut it up a little bit more. Get more per bite. And kitchen scissors are easy to use. You're not going to cut yourself. Alright. That's pretty good. Now we're going to add some mayonnaise. A separate spoon. Depending on how creamy you like your dip. I like my dips to be extra creamy. I don't really measure a lot of stuff, but I like to, especially for dips. For baking you have to measure, but making dips and stuff like this, I just add the amount that it's going to make it as creamy as I like it. So we have our cream cheese, 1 block. We have our Can Artichoke. And I probably added about 1.5 cups of mayonnaise. I didn't measure, but that's about what it looked like. I just stir it up and see the consistency of it. Okay, now we're going to do the crab. I might add a little bit more mayonnaise after I add the crab, just depending on what the consistency looks like. I'm just going to squeeze it in there. I get the shredded just because it's easier. They make it in lump also, which is like little chunks like that. I only like that for like if I make a crab salad. But for this, the shredded is just so much easier to mix in. So that's what I prefer. You can put in whatever you want. I first had this I'm a wedding photographer also. I was doing a wedding for a couple, and I showed up at the house to do pictures. And I walked into the house, and I was like, what is that smell? Something smelled so good. And I went to the kitchen with the owner of the house and saw this pan shaped like this sitting there with something in it, and I was like, what is that? And she said, oh, that's my artichoke crab dip. Help yourself. Well, every time she left the room to go do something for the wedding, I was kind of just hanging out waiting for the family to get ready. I helped myself. I must have ate probably 1/4 of it before I even started taking pictures. And before I left, I asked her for the recipe. So I've been making this ever since, and I love it. All right. It's getting about the right consistency that I like. Also, you can add some Parmesan cheese, which is good also. You don't have to, but I don't always measure. Just going to shake a little bit there. This is also going to go on top of it when you bake it. Just a little bit of Parmesan in there. I'm not going to add any salt, any pepper like that. This isn't really, not going to need any salt. Okay. Let's get this oven preheated to probably 350. Should work. am going to spray this just a little bit. Doesn't really need a lot, but just to make sure it doesn't stick. Just spray that a bit. Now I'm just going to get a spatula. It's easier to get everything out with the spatula. I'm going to put it in this nice square glass pan. Just mash it in here. I'll tell you what, you bring this to any kind of party, any kind of get-together, and everybody's going to want to know the recipe. People are just going to kind of stand around it and eat it till it's gone. So if you go to something and you know there's going to be more than 10 people, 15 people, I would make 2. Or make a bigger, amount of it, because people are going to definitely crowd around it and eat it till it's gone. It's that good. All right, it's ready to go in the oven. Normally that'll be preheated, I forgot. It happens. That's going to cook for probably, at least a half hour. You don't stir it, you just leave it in there. I don't cover it just because it cooks faster and you want the top to get a little bit, the cheese you put on top to get a little bit just brown and cooked. So no need to cover it. It's going to take about 30 minutes and I'll be right back.